Hey, everybody. Welcome on in to our little corner.
Welcome.
Little corner right here. This is a big show today. Week one, the recap, episode 2 of the Peter and Nick football show, the most creatively named show on the internet, where we talk about football. He draws from personal experience. I draw from things I read and watch. Make things up. So let's get into it, Nick. This was a good week one. Yeah. I mean, dang good. That Ravens-Bills game, as much as it hurts me to say it, has a good shot at being the game of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, we can jump right into it for the surprise game of the week.
Yep.
How about Danny Dimes and those Colts?
Man.
What was your first reaction to that?
New York is quarterback hell, I guess. I mean, Daniel Jones, how many years did he look incompetent on the Giants just to get into Indianapolis and thrive? You know, I mean, you've seen it with Darnold, although this week might not be the best example. But Darnold gets out of New York and plays better. Aaron Rodgers gets out of New York and plays better. This was the week of the quarterback exodus, the New York exodus.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones, man.
And Russell Wilson looked like Daniel Jones.
He sure did. Dude, you get in that zip code and you get into trouble. But beside the point, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, slinging the football, decisive pushing the ball downfield, that's all Giants fans wanted to see. So maybe quarterback play is about who you have around you and your play calling.
Well, I think one of the biggest things that I noticed when looking at that game was the Colts offensive line looked very good. They were protecting Daniel. They were giving him time to throw the ball. And then on the other side, the Dolphins' offensive line was in shambles. They were getting pressure all day, and Tua cannot be hit. He's had too many concussions. He needs to be protected, and he just looked rattled.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he took a big shot in that one. I was skeptical of, Mike McDaniel's rebrand. He's serious now. He's accountable, right? He's going to hold everybody accountable. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I mean, holy cow, can he go back to being the nerd, the coddling nerd? Because at least they were fun to watch. At least they scored points. This is like all of the worst parts of Miami's softness with none of the excitement and the flash. And it was miserable to watch. Dolphins fans are miserable, and they're going to have to blow this whole thing up, most likely. McDaniel, I mean, you saw the future OC of the Lions or wherever he lands. It's going to be depending on how he exits this year, whether it's super unceremonious. Like, he's fighting at this point for his future head coaching job, right? Because if this is super ugly and this turns into a Nathaniel Hackett where it's just an embarrassment and humiliation, that's going to be tied to him for a long time, and it's going to be hard, if not impossible, to ever get out of that, coordinator realm where I think he can thrive, and I think it's going to be a hard thing for him to ever shake the perception of being more than that. Yeah,
and I think people often forget there's a big difference between a head coach and an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. It's a
totally different job.
Completely different. One's X's and O's, one's being like the CEO and leader of the team. And I think that personally, McDaniel's a brilliant guy, and I think the X's and O's are his thing. So I have a feeling he'll be back in that role next year, but we'll see. Is it a hot take to say that Tyreek Hill will be traded this season?
Tomorrow. He's out of there as I see it. Miami, the best thing they can do right now is recognize how bad they are and just commit to the rebuild, offload the talent you have. You have good pass rushers who could maybe, warrant. I mean, you're going to keep Chop around, but does Chubb have some trade value? Does Phillips have some trade value? I mean, you just made a move for Minka, but you got to at least retool, and it's going to be under different coach.
And are you buying or selling the Daniel Jones hype? Is he back? Is this just a one-game thing? Are you buying it?
I tend to think that this is going to be more of a one-game, situation here. I think he's going to be somewhere in that range this season. I feel confident of 2022 Daniel Jones that led the Giants to the playoffs, actually won a playoff game in Minnesota. Game manager, peak Daniel Jones is good enough to win football games. I'm buying that Colts defense a little bit more. I don't think this is going to be the dumpster fire that I was thinking possibly ahead of the season. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to ascend into the likes of Peyton Manning or something like that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Falcons need Michael Penix Jr. to ascend into something. I don't know if it's Peyton Manning. I don't know if it's Matt Ryan, but that defense is not great. They actually played better than I thought they would in this one, but they come up short 23-20 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Penix had a couple of extensions, right? The Penix extended, but still came up short. Something funny, Nick. And, Tampa Bay kind of surprised me in this one, or Atlanta's defense, rather. What were your thoughts on this game?
I think that, it's just a young secondary, rookies on defense making mistakes. It's situational defense. And the thing is, their head coach is a DB's coach. He's a defensive guy. He needs to figure out what to do with this defense because it's going to cost them this season. Raheem Morris was, way back in the day, DB's coach with my Washington Redskins. And now he's a great head coach, I think, and a great leader. And I think Penix is the guy for them. I think that he's shown that he can make plays. They need Drake London to get healthy again. They need Kyle Pitts to make plays. Bijan is a stud, but it's a team game, and they need everybody involved.
Yeah, actual quote from Raheem Morris, "We have to lock in."
Yeah, they do. They need to lock in.
Yeah, Ibuka, I think, kind of stole the show for me. If you're putting out one individual player, comes in, has to fill the Chris Godwin role, and who would have thought the all-time leader at Ohio State, this factory of receivers, is actually good, right? The all-time leading receiver is good at football. Wow, what a shock, right? Let's let him fall all the way down to pick 22.
Yeah. I mean, I said it before the season. I think that Ibuka is going to be a stud for them. He's going to have a chance to contribute early with Godwin's injury, and I think he's going to take full advantage, and he has already started to do that. I think Baker Mayfield's a vet. He knows what he's doing. He's experienced, and he's going to expose poor defense like Atlanta played on Sunday.
Yeah. Some good defense was played on Sunday by the Cleveland Browns. Maybe surprise to some people, although those who have watched the Cincinnati Bengals and Cleveland Browns in any of the past few seasons probably expected this. Cincinnati, one reason for optimism going into this game was that they'd played in the preseason. Oh, and boy, did that pay off. I mean, last year they scored 10 points. This year, wow, up to 17 points rather. Last year they scored 10 points. This year they're up to 17 in week 1. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Disappointing offensive output, but they did sneak out the win, 17-16. What are your thoughts, Nick?
I think that it was a sloppy game. I think the Bengals just don't know how to start a season. They don't start playing till halfway through the season. It's this same thing year after year, no matter if they're playing in the preseason or not. And I think part of that's just so much of drama going on with their team. Every year, their front office needs to figure out, do they want to sign a guy or not, and kind of get that handled. And then when it comes to the football game, I think that the Browns aren't the most talented team in the world this year. But I think that they have stability at quarterback. I think Joe's going to be a very steadying presence, and this is exactly what they need. But they need somebody that can be breaking out a huge play. I think that when it came down to it, the Bengals had a couple big chunk plays, explosive plays, and the Browns didn't. And that's what got them over the edge. I also do think they need to get a new kicker because that kicker.
Smiz it.
He's got to be on the waiver wire this week. Yeah. He had a rough game.
And he did. Joe Flacco had a sneaky good game. I mean, Joe Flacco, if you throw on the film on those 2 interceptions, those are 2 of the unluckiest picks a quarterback can throw. He's placing the football low and away from his receiver. One time to Jerry Jeudy, the other to Cedric Tillman. They go low to scoop it, and almost like they're playing volleyball, pop it up into the air for a pick. Yeah. Joe did what Joe had to do, but 16 points isn't going to cut it even against the Week 1 Bengals.
Yeah, but I mean, for someone like him, You need a reliable kicker, someone. He's a situational guy. He's going to set it up to get a good kick, which he did multiple times, and he converted. But you know who did have a kicker that converted for them? The Steelers.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, same thing, savvy vet. And who came through? Kicker. What happened?
Boswell.
They won the game.
Man, dude. I know Aaron Rodgers gets all the credit, and he deserves it. This is his spiteful moment, right? The spurned lover going back to show his ex what they're missing. But holy cow, Chris Boswell pounding that thing from 60 yards out in, MetLife. Like that. I mean, that was a serious kick.
Mm-hmm.
The game of the early window, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of directions you could go. Obviously, Aaron played his butt off. Justin Fields, one of the most efficient passers this week.
I was really shocked by that. I wasn't buying the Fields stock.
I'm still probably not, but that game, was awesome. It was so unexpected. Winning from the pocket, still holding the ball for a long time. And it's not even like he didn't deliver in the biggest moment. He put the ball in Garrett Wilson's chest to set them up almost in field goal range. It just so happened that Jalen Ramsey's a future Hall of Famer, and he stuck him and knocked the ball loose. But, one quarterback had to lose, outside of, just literal sense, but, you're up against your former team. No one ever wants to lose that game. But in a way, they kind of both had a moral victory. Fields showed him what he can do, and Rodgers, he's the one who really walks out of here a winner.
Yeah, for sure. And I think their defense traveled and did what they needed to do to win. So I expected a little more out of their defense, to be honest, but I think they did what needed to be done at the end of the day. So next game.
Yeah.
Raiders, Patriots. I had my Raiders, and they delivered. I was a Geno believer, and he got the job done. It wasn't the prettiest game, but I do think that the Raiders have a team that can win some games. Brock Bowers moves those chains. Ashton Genty, he'll pound the rock a little bit, and then Max Crosby, he's just a game wrecker.
Yeah, he is. Patriots, maybe we're premature. Vrabel was the head coach of the year candidate, the front runner, the betting favorite. And I think everyone just kind of connected a lot of dots simultaneously on this team. Drake May's going to make a jump, and the receiving core, I guess, is going to grow into something with Diggs and Douglas. And Henderson, I do believe, is going to be awesome.
Yeah. I still believe he didn't get many touches this week, but I do think Henderson will still be a stud.
But, there's still holes all over this team. You look at safety for the Patriots is a problem. It's just, inexperience, and I know Vrabel's a good coach. I think we were just premature in our jump.
Yeah, and, you got to hold on to the ball. Drake May fumble, and I think that the O-line needs to step up. They had some penalties. They didn't protect them very well, let up a couple sacks. They gotta protect him. You're going against Max Crosby, one of the best, if not the best pass rusher in the game, but you gotta protect your quarterback. Kayshon Boutte, he did better than I thought he would. He went for 103 yards and actually somewhat delivered. I was actually kind of surprised, but I don't know. I'm still not very sold on their team.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think there are some pieces that I like, but I think we all just kind of got ahead of ourselves on that one. Jonas Sanker, your brother, all of a sudden, a starting safety in the NFL. We were in person down there. Obviously, a disappointing result.
Yeah.
For you new Saints fan. But we saw in person Kyler Murray duke it out with Spencer Rattler in the Superdome. What were your takeaways?
It's funny to watch Kyler Murray run around. He is like a little kid running around.
That start-stop.
He is so quick.
He is.
He is so quick, and it is so hard for defense to contain him. And I think that's going to be a theme all year. I was shocked. He missed some pretty big throws that could have really separated and opened up the game a little bit. Marvin Harrison wide open on a deep post that would have been like a 99-yard touchdown, missed it, and a couple other just throws that he needs to hit. He has the talent and he is a real threat on the ground, but he needs to be more consistent throwing the ball if the Cardinals want to be successful this year.
Yeah, I agree. That's been the narrative for a long time at this point. He can create. To me, I want to see more explosives with his arm, and I want to see more risks, downfield. Like, give Marv a shot. Give McBride a shot down the field. But with Kyler, I feel like he's not even playing to his skill set. He's playing too safe. And part of the problem is, and they won this game, but against an inferior opponent, I'm not going to come away saying, the Cardinals are ready to contend in the NFC West. Some people were coming into the season. I was one of them saying I think that they're primed for a potential jump. But coming away, I was disappointed with the way that Kyler played the game, the way he approached it. And I really just want to see some of that downfield passing because a lot of like the tight window and short stuff is hard just from a height standpoint. Like it's hard to see what's going on over the middle. And I think you just need to stretch that defense a little bit further, get those safeties moving back, and open up more explosive with your legs. Yeah. So Cardinals still finding themselves. It's not the end of the world. Again, they won, but they kind of let the Saints hang around in that game more than they ever should have.
Yeah, and I think that the Saints just need to figure out a little more consistent passing game. They turn it on at the end of the game, and they need to figure out how to turn that on earlier in the game. And be more consistent early on. They also got to figure out how to stop the run. Cardinals had a couple big runs and were able to move the ball. And I think that they need to figure out. They had some injuries on defense, and I think that'll help. Having Chase Young back to generate a little more pressure too will definitely help. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm curious to see how they do this next week against the 49ers.
Yeah. Speaking of pressure, the lauded Giants defensive line, maybe the best in the league, we thought, coming into the year. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and they still got skunked by the Commanders. You were watching this game, the Commanders fan that you are. You're at your brother's game. Don't worry, you watched every snap, but you had your phone on the side. Where was this pass rush? It was a modest game relative to what we expect from Jaden Daniels, 233 yards, a touchdown, played conservative football. Was he just doing what he needed to do, knowing that the Giants weren't really going to make a lot happen, not taking unnecessary risk?
Well, I think it was a combination of things. Starting with the defensive line, I think that, first off, there's something to say about the investments that the Commanders have made into the offensive line this offseason, and I think that they right there kind of showed. You got Laramie Tunsil over at left tackle. You brought in first-round rookie Connerly to the right tackle, and then you moved in to guard Coleman, who is a big body and early draft pick last year. And so you've made some big investments into that offensive line, into protecting Daniel Jones, and I think that showed a little bit. The other part is I think Daniel Jones – Jaden Daniels into protecting Jaden Daniels. His names are like backwards.
They are.
I didn't realize that. Jaden Daniels. And to protect, so you made all those investments into protecting Jaden Daniels, and it's really showing. And then Jaden Daniels is a quarterback that's just hard to get. He is a mobile quarterback. He has real speed, and so that makes it really hard as a D-line when you're trying to pass rush a quarterback like that. You can't be super aggressive. You have to work together to try to contain it. You saw that with Dallas and Philly. They had a terrible time trying to contain Jalen Hurts. And so teams really probably just overemphasize we can't be really going. When you pass rushing, you have to pass rush in a controlled manner so you can contain and do those things. But that makes it harder to pass rush. You can't go and do these crazy moves to get around the blocker. And so I think that showed a little bit in that game.
Yeah. Do you come away with any concerns about Washington at all?
I think they looked a little sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way they ended the first half with just mistakes and getting penalties and running out the clock, like, you can't have that when you're playing a real team. You can't get away with those kinds of mistakes. And I think they started hot on offense in the first half, but second half they did not play well. And then the one thing, their defense is really, really what excited me, though. I think they were criticized a lot for their investment of $15 million a year into Javon Kinlaw. He looked like a stud. He looked like he was worth every penny. And their D-line really made investments into stopping the run game. They needed to build out a D-line that can put up some kind of defense against Saquon Barkley's pass run game with the Eagles, and I think that definitely showed. The other thing that made me really excited is their corners look great. Marshawn Lattimore looked like Marshawn Lattimore, and he really did a great job against Malik Neighbors, and he had several pass breakups and really kept him under wraps most of the game. And that was really, really important to see, because now you got a D-line that's finally able to stop the run. You got some corners, which has been a big problem. I mean,
horrible.
We had St. Juice trying to cover A.J. Brown last year and really just getting wrecked game after game after game. And so if we have a defense that we can actually rely on and can complement our explosive offense, we might have a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, definitely contending. Two teams that are not going to be contending anytime soon. The Carolina Panthers taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. This whole game, to me, felt like, all right, who's going to lose it? Like, just no one – sloppy football all around, modest numbers. Trevor Lawrence throws a pick. Bryce Young is 18 for 35. Just – I don't know what I was – expecting a little bit more from the Jaguars offense. Like, I'm not going to say I was coming into this game like, oh, man, this is going to be a shootout. This is going to be really precise football. But Travis Hunter, kind of a non-factor. It was kind of a snooze fest. But do you have any takeaway other than, kind of the general thing of like, all right, this is a bad team beating a team that's a little bit worse?
I mean, I think it was pretty similar. I think that you saw Cohn's offensive identity with a lot of quick game screens coming into play, and I think that will be a good fit for them. And interestingly enough, they didn't use Bigsby much at all, and they just traded him to the Eagles. So they really must believe in Bashal Tutin and really should believe in ETN. So I'm curious to see kind of how that goes. But that says something about the people they have in the room right now. I'm curious to see how they evolve on using Hunter. I think they got to just use him on offense and keep his legs fresh. But it was a bad team beating a worse team.
Yeah. ETN was kind of the star, I guess. 143 yards on the ground, buoyed by a 71-yard run. I don't know that I totally look at this Jaguars team that ran for 200 yards, which is on paper awesome, and think that this is going to be like Cohen's effect on the Bucs last year, where the Bucs could really run the football on just about anybody. I think it's more, like I said, just kind of the Panthers doing Panther things, and the Jaguars at least being good enough at this point to take advantage, where in years prior, maybe they would have Jaguared something up and thrown this game away.
Yeah. I think you're spot on.
Moving out
Titans,
west. Titans, Broncos. Cam Ward's first game. 42% completion percentage is a scary number. That's the lowest of the week. 133 yards of total offense for the Titans.
6 sacks.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
6 sacks.
As bad as those numbers are, where I came down on this game as it pertains to Ward, because that's all this season is. You're just seeing if you have your quarterback.
Yeah.
If you're a Titans fan. He was better than those numbers suggest.
Way better.
The sacks are real. Like, his
he needs to be protected.
He needs to be protected, but he also is the pressure
protections.
response.
Yeah.
Like, NFL pressure response is different from Miami.
Yeah.
He would wait in that pocket until the absolute last second at Miami, which is, it's a good trait, but it can also be a bad trait, and you saw some of the negative of that in this game. as far as his completion percentage, multiple passes dropped, miscommunications with the receivers. His arm looked good. Like, he controlled the football, which is what you want to see.
Yeah.
He paces that thing up there with just about anybody. Like, when he really lays into a seam ball, which he loves to throw, it is eye-popping, even on the broadcast. It's notable. I came away like, all right, whatever. The Titans kind of did what they expected. The Broncos defense came and did what I expected them to do. I came away concerned about this Broncos offense. Do you feel that same way?
I mean, 2 interceptions by Bo Nix. Like,
yeah,
that was a bit shocking. I don't know if that says that's a great Titans defense or if that's a just bad performance by the Broncos offense.
I tend to think it's the latter. I mean, preseason doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Except when you see things in the preseason carry over. And Bo Nix did not look great to me in the preseason. He did not look great to me yesterday. That defense did their job. That should have been 30-12 rather than 20-12. Nix has got to pick it up. That offense has got to pick it up. They got rid of Devon Villay, who was, a contributor last year. I thought it was a sign of them not needing him, right? A sign of progression. Sean Payton has been talking up this team like crazy throughout the offseason into this week. But look at what the Chargers just did. The Chiefs aren't going away. The Raiders got to win. Like, Bo Nix, the pressure's on. Like, you have
Sophomore
high
slump.
expectations this year.
I think. Are you buying that he's going to have a sophomore slump, or is this just
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to say that. Totally. But
it sounds like it. The preseason and week 1.
But you can, it's just too early. I mean, you're talking about an 18-week season. But if I see this kind of thing for a couple more weeks where it's just like slogging it out and somehow winning one-score games, I have no reason to expect that the Broncos are going to do anything different in the wild card than get skunked like they did last year
If
against
they make
Bills.
the wild card.
True. Not a guarantee. But expectations are progression. Expectations are that next step, getting to the divisional.
Yeah. I mean, you just saw how dominant that Broncos defense is. Like, that might carry them through these early struggles by Bo Nix. I mean, they had, like we said before, they had 6 sacks. Calvin Ridley was targeted 8 times, only caught 4. This is a dominant secondary. This is a dominant pass rush. It might be the best defense in the league, and that'll carry you for a while.
Yeah.
So, next game.
Moving on to the Niners and Seahawks. Seahawks hosting them. This was a good, close game. Again, a little bit of week 1 sloppiness. 17-13 is an ugly scoreline. Niners just snuck out with this one. What were your thoughts?
They need to stay healthy.
They're already hurt. George Kittle just got hurt.
They need to stay healthy. I heard Kittle's going to be out several weeks. Brock Purdy might not even play week 2. McCaffrey's just always, you never know what's going to happen with him. It's insane how they need to figure out how to stay healthy. And if they can't, that's going to be really, really problematic. That was my big takeaway. And then I think that Saleh is back. It was great to see him on the sidelines, great to see him excited. And I think he's a great defensive coordinator. He might not have enjoyed his time as a head coach, but he knows how to be a defensive coordinator. And I think that's going to really help the 49ers this year.
Yeah, I, coming into this game, talked about the variance of each quarterback and how, considering it from a career perspective, I've seen more variance out of Sam Darnold. I've seen lower lows than I have out of Brock Purdy. This game confirmed some of that for me, although it was interesting to see like Purdy really step into that role of gunslinger. I mean, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 277 yards to Darnold's 150. But at the end of the game, Sam Darnold, with a chance to win it, goes down into the red zone and gets stripped. Yeah. And I mean, it was a heck of a rush by Nick Bosa, and Abraham Lucas could have anchored better, whatever you want to say. Abraham Lincoln could have anchored better, dude. You should have seen John Wilkes Booth coming from a mile away. But it just is disappointing in that moment for Darnold. Kind of out on his own, away from the shadow of O'Connell in Minnesota. Yeah. A chance to kind of put his stamp on a team that he's leading. and to get stripped of the football against a division rival at home, it confirmed kind of my concerns about this team.
Yeah, and I think, I think that's gonna be a problem throughout. And I mean, great offensive coordinators can really make a quarterback look good, but also missing those offensive coordinators makes it really hard for those teams to look good. And speaking of missing an offensive coordinator, the Lions were missing their offensive coordinator.
Man, hey, you know what? This is my victory lap of the week right here. All right, I was spot on this game.
You were.
I felt like Green Bay was going to go in there and really not beat the brakes off this Detroit team, because I had, 27-24 is my predicted final score. But 27-13 is a convincing victory. Jordan Love, healthy Jordan Love, this is what I was saying. I attributed some of those early season struggles last year more to the injury than anything else. And he was slinging that thing. He was pushing it downfield, super efficient, but not too conservative. I said it to you when we were watching. There is not a more fun quarterback to watch from the pocket than Jordan Love, because he takes so many risks. And sometimes you get burned. But sometimes you win 27-13 at home against the team that just went to the NFC divisional, right?
Yeah.
So I am so high on this Packers team right now. They're healthy. They're well coached. They've made splash moves going and getting Micah Parsons, who, I mean, you saw his chase down on Jared Goff. Cowboys could have used that Thursday night. I mean, it's beside the point. Like, he is going to add so much to this defense, finally be that closer that they need. And you look at how Minnesota was shaky, that game that we're going to get to, and the way that the Packers just had this convincing victory. I mean, the Bears, of course, stunk it up. So Green Bay is the clear division frontrunner at this point, as I see it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Micah Parsons, looked healthy. Yeah. He looked like Micah Parsons. And I'm going to have to eat my words on that one. I didn't think he was going to be ready to go, and he was. And he looks like a game wrecker. And it makes a big impact, because having him in the game creates negative plays. And negative plays wreck drives. And wreck drives create short offensive drives for Jordan Love and that Packers offense. And so it changes the game and changes the way that the Packers can go about and approach how they do things. And the Lions are going to have to figure something out there. And their offense really struggled. Their Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery did not look like the same Sonic and Knuckles that they were last year. So the Lions need to figure out what they want to do there, because what they're doing right now is not working.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Love, I just pulled up the numbers right here. He was 5th this week in air yards per pass attempt, 10.1 air yards per pass attempt, and also 3rd in EPA per dropback. So pushing the ball downfield and extremely efficient, that's a recipe for fun football, and football that is rare not only in week 1, but in the current era of boring split safety shells and too high coverages. Jordan Love is that outlier, and it is so fun to watch when he is on his game. You know who else is fun to watch? Matthew Stafford and those Rams.
Yeah, they were.
I rode with Stafford, Nick.
You did.
You felt like the Texans had it. I will say, I didn't see this game playing out like this, 14-9.
Yeah, I did not see that either.
It's a shocker.
And I don't know. I don't think I'm sold on either team. I don't think that was purely great defense. I think that might have been a little bit of offensive struggles, which is to be expected, I think. I think that early on in the season, teams with great defenses tend to play better. I think it's a little easier for a defense to catch a rhythm and to get in the groove than for an offense. And so having a good defense, I think, is a way to start your season faster. And in this case, the Rams have a pretty good defense. I think so. And the Texans do too.
I think that was one of my takeaways, was that the Rams defense, I mean, I knew about the front four, but the guys on the back end were making plays. So if the Rams really have this level defense and Stafford and those guys can stay healthy, I don't come away concerned about this team. We know the Texans defense is awesome. I mean, it's hard to hold anybody to 14 points, let alone a good Rams team with, an offseason of game planning for McVay. But yeah, I kind of came away with slightly different takeaway. I think that this was more of like a clash of two heavyweights. Stroud, I'll admit, was not the sharpest I've ever seen him, but I feel like fairly confident that the Rams are the best team in that NFC West and the Texans are the best in the AFC South.
Yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that too.
You know what else I'm confident about? No matter what, the Baltimore Ravens will always find a way to blow a football game. 99% chance to win per ESPN. Do you know how many times?
That's pain.
Do you know how many times I've heard about this ESPN probability, chance of winning BS as it pertains to my Baltimore Ravens?
You need to start betting against them.
I do. But it's like, it is statistically significant the amount of times they blow these games that are practically impossible to blow. You have a 15-point lead with 3.5 minutes to go. I don't care who's Superman can be quarterbacking the Bills, and he almost was. Josh Allen balled out, but damn it, 15 points in 3 minutes. And here's what drives me crazy, as I just rant, is I don't know what you do. Do you not hand the ball to Derrick Henry, this Pro Bowl running back who goes for 1,900 yards and is as clutch as they come, never fumbles the football, and then just drops it uncontested? Like, who do you blame for this?
I think here's the thing. First of all, I want to say to the fans out there and the viewers out there, this was painful to watch Peter go through this. I was there in person, witnessing this horrific meltdown in front of Peter's eyes.
My horrific meltdown.
Yes, and he was in pain, and he suffered for a while after the game. So it was tough, and I can say for a fact Peter really felt this one in his heart.
My TikTok reviews have become therapeutic. Like it's literally the cycle of grief. What it does is it just accelerates my cycle of grief. So like rather than going through it in the week, I experience all of those emotions.
Rewatching
and
the
by
game.
the time I have completed my review, I'm laughing about it because I have to.
You're laughing the pain away.
I'm not laughing right now though. Like it is still bothering me. It's still really frustrating.
To answer your question though.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I think the problem is when a Ravens team makes that shift from playing to win to playing not to lose. When you see the handcuffs go onto Lamar in that offense and you're just going to chew the clock, that's when you start to fall apart. And that's what happened. They were playing not to lose over those last 3 possessions that they had the ball.
Think of the 4th and 3. 4th and 3.
You've
Tied.
to let your quarterback go out there and win the game. You have all this momentum for the Bills. You know Josh Allen is going to go down and win the game.
You saw it already.
He's done it already a couple
times. The play before
times.
the half to Kincaid on the sideline, where, first of all, the longest 1 second in the history of the world, but whatever, he barely gets out of bounds. Like, Allen is going to deliver in that moment.
Yeah.
You know who trusts him? Sean McDermott.
Yeah, he does.
So, John, trust Lamar. Trust Lamar to get 3 yards.
He's an MVP
I say it
for
all
a
the
reason.
time. I say it all the time. You have, as a defense, the Derrick Henry fake to be concerned about, Lamar keeping it, and then so you've scraped perfectly. You've done everything right, and Lamar can flip it out to Zay Flowers, and you have to tackle him in space.
Yeah.
You can run that play at any time to get 3 yards. You got to trust him. I don't care where you are on the field. And Jair Alexander, here's another guy. Dude, get ready. I mean, you're lucky you've made a lot of money because otherwise you're working at Amazon after a game like that. You got cooked back to back.
And then he tackled him so that
I don't even. All right. I don't think I've ever seen a worse play in my life. Cooked on this slant route by Keon Coleman, known separator. Keon Coleman cooks you, catches the football, breaks your ankles to the ground, and the worst thing you can do, just take the L, stay down, let him run into the end zone. You trip him up so that they can kick through the field goal. I was so optimistic about this move because I was concerned about Awuzie in that cornerback 2 spot. And they have somehow found someone worse than Brandon Stevens. They have found a human being who's worse at playing corner than Brandon Stevens. That's not possible, Nick.
He looked bad, and you could see a clear frustration. And it's tough. And I feel bad for Lamar. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah. You got to know, Lamar. You got to get out that crystal ball. You don't hand the ball to Derrick Henry. Just like you don't throw the ball to Mark Andrews, just like you don't throw the ball to Zay Flowers.
It's tough.
In the AFC Championship, it's just like game after game. You can't blow it up because these players are amazing, but you never know who's going to be the one. All you know is that one of them is going to do it. One of them is going to fumble. Exactly.
Who is your Judas? One of them is going to betray you.
So there it is. I just spat that out. I feel so much better. My therapy is done.
You're venting.
Screw BetterHelp or any of those services. I don't need that. This is my therapy. This is much cheaper. Moving on to a game that I have no emotional ties to. The Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Chicago Bears. Chicago, a 1.5 favorite in this game. I called out every member of the Bears at every level and said, if you lose this game, you have no excuse. You can't lose to J.J. McCarthy.
And they did.
What's essentially his first regular season start. All he's done is play preseason before this.
And it looked like that early on.
At what point, Caleb? At what point are we just going to lock in and make that throw, right? Yeah. It's the same issue I have with Kyler. A lot of times it's just like the variance of throws. Like he just misses so many layups.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams.
He was known for his accuracy too.
Yeah. Here's the problem, and here's why we can be hard on him. It's because he has all of the skill in the world, or all of the talent in the world. Like, he's another guy. He and Cam Ward have two of the most powerful arms, just like line drive, ripping the football, just, have it hover above.
Platform throws,
yes,
too.
Exactly. The way he moves, he's a better runner than I gave him credit for. He is so fast. But here's the difference, right? When you take a quarterback who is dynamic inside and out of the pocket in college football, and you take him first overall, and he has a rocket arm, you're comparing him to Mahomes. That's the expectation. But here's the key difference between Caleb Williams and Mahomes. When Mahomes moves out of the pocket, the game slows down. When Caleb moves out of the pocket, it speeds up. Caleb is a better athlete than Patrick Mahomes.
That's not hard to do.
But he has no feel. He doesn't feel the game. And he doesn't tempo his speed the way he needs to. He's just a madman.
Here's the thing, though. I think I'm not too concerned yet because he is in a brand new offense with a brand new scheme, with a brand new coach. And I think that takes time to learn and to understand and to process. And I think he will slow down as the season goes on. And I think he will get better.
But I don't care who your offensive coordinator is. You got to be able to hit the backside dig.
Yeah,
That's a physical issue.
Yeah.
Caleb has physical, mechanical issues. He's spraying the football over his receivers' heads. He gets that amazing one-handed catch out of Komet. Put it in his chest and he's maybe running.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you just can't afford to miss that many throws, even if the highs are higher than anyone. It's like Anthony Richardson syndrome, which we're talking about Anthony Richardson as it pertains to Caleb Williams.
That's a stretch.
He had, how many points did he score? 24? 7 of which were from the defense?
Yeah.
Come on.
He needs to step up. And I think
it's 17-6. You're deep in Minnesota territory. This is your chance to put your foot on the throat of your division rival and go and win it.
Yeah, and at home.
And you take a stupid sack, your intentional grounding, You back it up and you let your kicker, who you know is spotty, attempt one from 50. He misses it. The Vikings get back in the game, and then it just unravels.
Yeah.
And there is no composure.
It's a game of momentum. You saw that Sunday night, and you saw that Monday night. Once the team gets on a roll, they're on a roll.
It's true. But the great quarterbacks,
they figure it out.
Quarterbacks that they need him to be.
Great quarterbacks and great defenses.
Yeah.
I think defenses.
Great players in general. But, like, you're thinking about, you've brought in 3 offensive linemen. The boy genius at offensive coordinator. Tons of investment at receiver and tight end. And at what point do we say, Caleb, do something for us. Make it happen. You have all of the tools. We've rolled out the red carpet. There were open receivers in that game.
Yeah.
They should have scored 30 points.
There's no more excuses. He needs to produce this year. He does. He has a great offensive coordinator. He has great pieces around him. He needs to produce.
And now you got to go into Minnesota and win that game, most likely, if you want a shot. I mean, I think they're a ways away from competing in the division this year. But, dang, that was the expectation. That's the hope.
Week 1 in the books. We're both 10 for 14. It's an even game. Let's see who can take it next week.
Yeah, we'll be back picking games for week 2 sometime in the next couple days or so. We'll get that out. We're going to be better. It won't be Saturday night like we did last time. But thanks for rocking with us. And if you're still here, holy cow, you're a real one.
You're a real one. Peace out.